Hi, my name is L.A.M.A and welcome to Britannia Beach, British Columbia. Today I'm going to introduce you to a couple of friends of mine, but just before I do, I want to tell you a little bit about where I am actually, Britannia Beach. Pretty cool little community, a Sleepy Hollow, but definitely a really beautiful little community that you should come and check out sometime. My understanding is that from 1904 to 1974, during those 70 years, it was an active copper mine and with about 3,000 employees. Today, I believe that there's about 280 people still living here in Britannia Beach. But anyway, we're not here to talk about copper and mining and tourism and stuff, but I will mention that the Sea to Sky Highway that was redeveloped for the 2010 Olympics is a must-see and a must-do, especially if you have a motorcycle. Today we're here to talk a little bit about motorcycles, and I'm going to introduce you to a couple of really cool friends that I've just met, and these guys have been bonded a long time, uniquely bonded by a similar lifestyle of motorcycling, and not just any kind of motorcycling. I'll let them tell you a little bit about their stories. So first of all, I'd like to introduce you to George. They actually call him Crazy George. I'm going to let him tell you why. And my other friend is Willie, and Willie goes by the name of Beaver. So first of all, we'll get George to talk a little bit about himself and how long he's been living here in the community and when he first became interested in motorcycling.
Well, I've been here about 40 years, and I got into motorcycles when I was probably 15. And my first motorcycle was an old Triumph. And as we progressed along, Willie and I met 40 some odd years ago, and we established a bond with each other on motorcycles. And over 40 years, we've had a shop together, we've worked together, lived together, and we're getting a little longer in the tooth now, so we can see we've got a little more comfortable bikes. But it's been a very interesting life, especially living here. A lot of nice riding areas, met a lot of people, and especially with Willie doing all the mechanical work in the shop, we got a lot of people come up and down that we've made new friends all over North America.
I understand that the shop that you guys had together, what was the name of that shop?
We called it Beavers, after Willie's nickname.
Willie's nickname. And Willie, how is it that you came up with the name Beaver? Why does everyone call you Beaver?
Well, back in the day, well, they still do it today, but the native Indians have totems for each other. And because I pull trees and whatnot, and a friend of mine just called me Beaver one day, and it just stuck. That's how that went.
So do I call you Beaver, or do we call you Willie?
Anything, but don't call me late for supper.
Not late for supper. Well,
yeah.
I guess some of the girls might call you Wild Willie. I don't know about that.
A lot of names then.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. Now, well, I'm interested about Crazy George. I heard something about a pig, George. What can you tell me about this pig?
I got a little pot-bellied pig for a pet, and he used to live at our house here, and he ate the neighbor's flowers all the time, and she flipped out, so we moved him down to the store, and it was quite an attraction. A lot of tour buses come down, and he had a great life there. He'd run from the store to my wife's restaurant, and everybody feels sorry for him. They'd feed him, and he loved ice cream. And one day a lawyer's daughter was there, and she had an ice cream cone, and she bent down to pet him, and he jumped up, took the ice cream, and knocked her hand. And it was either get rid of the pig or go to court, so we had to move him out to a farm. I tell everybody, they ask me what happened to the pig. I said, well, it was a hard winter and we ate him, but I actually went and retired into a farm.
There you go. There's the story. I guess more importantly, the reason why we're here today, talk a little bit about motorcycling. I'm curious about Beaver's experience and how long you've been riding. Can you remember the first bike that you had?
Yeah, I acquired a bike off of a fella And it was a 1964 BSA back in the year, and I was 15 at the time.
15 years old.
Yeah, so that's how it started, but they always have in the magazines, when was it for you? When did you get the Harley bug? And apparently my uncle had an old 45 in the war, and he used to put me on the gas tank and take me for rides on that, so that's when I got bit.
Wow.
So
That was a long time ago.
that was when I was about 5 or 6. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about yourself, George?
I got my first Harley when I was in Saskatchewan, and it was an old 45 too, and the guy said, if you can ride it down the end of the street, turn around, bring it back, I'll sell it to you. And I bought it for $150, had the old suicide shift, foot clutch, and I made it down the corner and turned around, and I bought it for $150. I made it home, and dumped it 3 times trying to get home, but it was a learning experience, and I had that bike for about 1.5 years, and I moved back out to BC, and just kept up the tradition, buying another bike and putting it together. And Willie helped me a lot with Willie's a mechanical guy on it, and you know, he helped me a lot with a lot of the bikes and stuff. I used to just ride the shit out of them, break them, and fix them all the time.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
You guys are still pretty good friends, though, I guess. You get along, yeah.
We actually, there was 3 of us, and we all bought, remember those Indians we bought? God, what a pain in the ass that was.
Yeah.
You talk about breaking down all the time. I'd finally just give up in disgust and give it to him. I couldn't. They were a lot of fun. I mean, like I stated earlier, and you know, we met a lot of people through riding motorcycles and repairing them and having the shop, and it's been very interesting to meet all these people.
Yeah. The other thing I had heard about Willie, or I think it was Willie was telling me something about Indian Larry, who's passed a couple of years back, but I'm sure we've all heard of Indian Larry, who's quite the icon in the States. What can you tell me about your relationship with Indian Larry?
Well, not me personally, but we had started a motorcycle here in Squamish and designed it and everything. And I try to explain to people, if you want to build a bike, go to the computer and design it first, and then we'll start. Try and figure out your motor, your transmission, your frame, and then we'll go from there. And so what we did, we started it, and then the friend of mine, he has a few bucks, so he asked Indian Larry if he would build this bike for him.
Ah.
We started it, but he finished it. But he didn't really finish it, he passed on before he finished it, but the boys actually finished it for Doug. So it's a Celtic knot design, the wheels and everything, so it's quite a bike. It made the magazine and everything. So.
Do you know where that bike is now? Or?
Yeah, he still has it. Later on I'll take you up there and show you where it is.
Awesome. That's, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
So as far as old motorcycles go, pre-1960 and stuff, here in the Sea to Sky corridor we're actually located, if you had to guess at how many old bikes there were in this neighborhood that we don't even know about, any idea? I hear there's a lot of old bikes and old guys around that actually have these old knuckles and panniers sitting under the floorboards.
Yeah, there is. You'd be surprised. When the good weather comes out, you'll see, you go down some of the coffee shops and restaurants and stuff, and you'll drive down and say, wow, where'd that old panhead or that old knuckle or whatever. And there's I would venture to say on the Sea to Sky corridor, there's probably 45 to 50 old school bikes.
Wow. Very exciting. Just great to see some of those bikes out riding.
Yeah, it is. It really is. You get a good appreciation of what people have done to them to keep them up. It's a lot of, it's hard to get parts for some of those, and it shows their dedication and devotion to them when they can maintain them and ride them out there. It looks really nice. We got good friends of ours that restored these old flatheads and the Army style ones, and they got all the Army gear. And he actually has a world record for the knucklehead on Salt Lake Flats.
Is that right?
Yeah, and they stopped all that. Nobody will ever beat his record. So it's stuff like that's really nice.
Yeah. Well, For my friends sitting in Argentina and Buenos Aires, and that would be Trinidad, Titi, and Ariel, and my friend in Miami, Carlos. I hope you've enjoyed this little clip of our two new friends here, our Canadians, and we're looking to expand their horizons into this project, and I know that both of them are quite excited about the project that we're working on, and hopefully we'll be able to bring them on board, and I know they're very talented in all respects. So thanks for listening in.